As in many movies, there are a lot of plot holes and inconsistencies in the reboot of Star Trek. Some of them can be noticed immediately, some of them you have to really look at what the writers have laid out in front of you. Some are small, while others are big, but they can almost always be fixed with a little editing. Let me preface this by saying that I actually did enjoy this movie, but that doesn't mean there aren't flaws. And this video is intended to point out mistakes in the script, nothing more. Making his spear a trident actually made the weapon less efficient. This seems like a trivial thing to point out, but it's an early indicator that the action scenes in this movie will be melodramatic. That is, there's conflict for the sake of conflict. More on that later. Wait a second. Did you catch that? If Nero can see the evacuation shuttles, and is willing to fire on them, why doesn't he kill them as soon as he finishes destroying the USS Kelvin? That is a lot of witnesses. One would think that if there were many people to describe the weaponry and scale of their attackers, that the Federation would build a lot of ships, to fight off this superior enemy. If I were the Federation, I would want to strengthen my defenses. But no, they just kind of forget about it. A similar problem to this happens in Mass Effect 2, where the Council knew that there were enemies coming and that they needed to prepare to defend themselves. Instead, the writers decided to make them stupid in order to create conflict, so that we could stave off this aspect until the next game. Well, I love the characters, so I'd love to see how this all ends. This is a really pretty shot, but it just proves my point that Nero should be shooting them! Really, that is a lot of people. Odds are that the Federation is going to make a big deal out of this. If you know you'll have to wait an indeterminate amount of time before you can put your plan into action, then why are you alerting the Federation to your presence? Wouldn't it make sense to either warp away or destroy all witnesses? Nero's quite lucky that the Federation just completely forgets about this until he's a much more serious threat. Alright, it looks like this is about 9 years later. Now they must have those ships. So, let's see them. Oh, it's just Kirk in a car. Kirk, get out of the way. We're preparing to defend ourselves against vastly superior enemies, and your character development is making that really hard. You're just looking for trouble, aren't you?
Then not only did you violate the rules, you also failed to understand the principal lesson.
Please, enlighten me.
Furthermore, you have failed to divine the purpose of the test.
Enlighten me again.
The purpose is to experience fear.
Good job explaining your test to every cadet. Now they can all pass. Very logical. Why are you calling a general assembly so that you can explain this to everyone? Oh, Mrs. Spock. Hello there. You're apparently on the Vulcan Council. Now that you see this flame drill, it's probably a good idea to start evacuating the most important members of your race.
Alert Vulcan Command Center to signal a planet-wide evacuation. All channels, all frequencies.
Look, they've already started evacuating. Why are these important people not among the first to be evacuated? And why are they just standing there after they saw the space drill? They're not doing anything. They're not helping anyone. They're not reporting anything. Do something! Evacuate? Please? Evacuate, please, for the love of plot. No? Alright, well maybe somebody will come from the sky and save you. That's unlikely.
The neutral zone, what appeared to be a lightning storm in space. Soon after, Starfleet received a distress signal from the Vulcan High Command and assist in evacuations if necessary. Thank you for your time.
Lightning storm.
So, drugged out Kirk can instantly see a red flag here, but trained officers have no knowledge of military history?
That same anomaly, a lightning storm in space that we saw today, also occurred on the day of my birth, before a Romulan ship attacked the USS Kelvin. You know that, sir. I read your dissertation.
Oh, he did. He just chose to say nothing. Well, that was a good idea, Captain Pike. It's not like people's lives were at risk here. And they don't need to dig a hole to destroy any planet. A black hole is plenty powerful enough to destroy any planet without being in the center of it.
Sir, after we knock out that drill, what happens to you?
Oh, I guess you have to come and get me.
How did you know it was a drill? Something you're not telling us, Captain? Spock didn't say it was a drill, he said it was...
Some kind of high-energy pulse device.
I need officers who've been trained in advanced hand-to-hand combat.
I have training, sir.
Come with me.
So what kind of combat training do you have?
Fencing.
What? I know it's supposed to be funny, but why would you lie to your commanding officer? It doesn't make any sense.
Come on, pull your chute, Olsen! No, not yet! Not yet! 1,500 meters! Open your chute! Olsen, pull your chute! 1,000 meters!
Come on, he had a red shirt. What were you expecting? Ah! Is that fencing? Wait, who did you lie to, Kirk or Pike? Are you a fencer or a ninjutsu master of Hapkido? What is going on here?
Kirk has landed, sir.
Nice of you to pull out your gun, Kirk. That would have been a good opening move. This is what I was referring to. Between the useless trident, Nero forgetting that he's supposed to kill people, the red shirt losing the charges along with his life for being an idiot, Kirk forgetting how to use his gun, and later Kirk and Spock prancing around shooting Romulans rather than taking cover, there's an awful lot of character action taking place because it's exciting and not because it would make sense for those characters to do that. Which is what a good plot is all about. Characters are supposed to make events unfold, not the other way around.
Olsen has the charges!
Well, that sucks. Way to put all your eggs in one basket.
Who do we know? This!
Oh, never mind. That's a really weak drill. Again, the whole red shirt death was pointless because a phaser could have broken this weak drill. Too bad Genius, Kirk, lost his gun. This is what's called contrived. These actions shouldn't be unfolding this way. The red shirt can still die, he just doesn't have to be retarded. And Kirk can lose his gun, but he doesn't have to be retarded. Just have the other members of the landing party carry charges, just like any ordinary military procedure would have them doing in this situation.
Please maintain standard orbit.
Yes, sir. Where are you going?
To evacuate the Vulcan High Council, they are tasked with protecting our cultural history. My parents will... It is impossible. They will be in the catcher car.
They didn't think to do this themselves when they were originally attacked? They didn't think to evacuate anybody? Why?
The black hole's expanding. We won't reach minimum safe distance if we don't leave immediately.
Well, thank you, lady, but you should have said it again this time. Apparently you forgot.
The planet has only seconds left. We must evacuate.
Okay. Until now, we apparently had no clue what was going on. But with those few words, we'll follow you, Captain Spock. Logical. Again, how did they not know this? They're advanced to the point that they look down upon humans, but they don't have the technology to tell that there's a huge ship in their atmosphere? You saw it! You saw it! Leave the planet. You are under attack.
Nero, who has destroyed my home planet and most of its 6 billion inhabitants. While the essence of our culture has been saved in the elders who now reside upon this ship, I estimate no more than 10,000 have survived.
Wait, so you're telling me that they did think to evacuate? But just not the Council? The most important organization in their civilization?
You must have a lot of questions for me. I only have one for you.
I need the subspace frequencies of Starfleet's border protection grids, specifically those surrounding Earth. Christopher, answer my question.
No, you answer for the genocide you just committed against a peaceful planet.
I prevented genocide. In my time, where I come from, this is a simple mining vessel. I chose a life of honest labor. Provide for myself and the wife who was expecting my child. I was off-planet, doing my job while your Federation did nothing, and allowed my people to burn while our planet broke in half. And Spock, he didn't help us. He betrayed us.
No, you're confused. You've been misinformed. Romulus hasn't been destroyed. It's out there right now. You're blaming the Federation for something that hasn't happened.
It has happened! I watched it happen! I saw it happen! Don't tell me it didn't happen! And when I lost her, I promised myself retribution. And for 25 years, I planned my revenge against the Federation and forgot what it was like to live a normal life. I did not forget the pain. It's a pain that every surviving Vulcan now shares. My purpose, Christopher, is to not simply avoid the destruction of the home that I love, but to create a Romulus that exists, free of the Federation. They say only then will she be truly saved. That is why I will destroy all the remaining Federation planets, starting with yours.
So, in your loopy mind, you were preventing genocide by attacking Vulcan, and the Federation did nothing to help. Wait, what could they do? You want them to go get buckets of water to pour on the star? It's a star! A giant extraterrestrial body that is constantly undergoing nuclear fission and fusion, according to modern scientific understanding of how they work. What could they do? They decided to try to have Spock black hole it away, but he showed up too late. There's no way you could blame anybody for this. It's a star! So why not, tell them to get a head start, or start evacuating beforehand? You are from the future. You know what? Screw that. Just cut your losses and tell them to colonize a new planet. That way you'll be long gone and well established by the time the star goes supernova. It's not hard. Old Spock did it in a pretty short amount of time. And he was on an ice planet.
I have already located a suitable planet on which to establish a Vulcan colony.
The Federation never attacked you. They just couldn't do anything. Why don't you want to go home to your people? Actually, what was your plan after destroying Vulcan and Earth? If it was something you had to do to protect your people, then you'd be resigned to your fate of not being able to return since you committed non-government sanctioned genocide and would have eliminated 2 factions from the galaxy. What government would greet you with open arms and grant amnesty? I would assume that this is a suicide pact sort of thing, where you do your mission but can't ever return. And when did Earth even factor into your plan? Actually, what is your plan? Why wouldn't you just go tell your people that a star was going to go supernova and that they needed to GTFO by a certain star date? Certainly if you need to get revenge, you could just kill Spock or torture him or something, rather than killing other people. But I get it. You want him to experience the same feelings you did, so you need him to see you destroy his planet. That's all well and good, but there are a lot of other options, and you had 25 years to consider them. You didn't ever think to use going back in time as a means by which to save Romulus rather than seeking mustache-twirling revenge for 25 years? You must be really, really stupid. And so is your crew, since none of them objected for 2.5 decades. And if they can just create black holes that actually don't need a drill, they just don't, then couldn't they just do flyby bombings of any planet? Mount these red matter bombs on fighters and just drop them off at every planet that looks at you funny. You could call it the Super Death Star. As a matter of fact, Nero, being from the future, could use this advanced weaponry to rule the friggin' universe. Now that seems like a lot more menacing a motivation. I know that's more simple, and he's supposed to be kinda sympathetic, and antagonists are typically supposed to represent the antithesis of the protagonist, but the writers didn't set the plot up to logically move in that direction. But seriously, Nero, my man, you have the most powerful ship in existence, and some astonishingly powerful weaponry. Nobody can stop you. In fact, they had to invent that drill to nerf you so that you wouldn't be the Death Star. Come to think of it, that drill is basically the only thing keeping this from being Star Wars.
Starfleet, we must gather with the rest of Starfleet to balance the turn.
Yes, the rest of Starfleet. Where are they? We know there's nobody at Earth. This shot shows us that. So the Federation must have sent their entire Earth fleet to Vulcan for a rescue operation? That was silly of them.
You say he's from the future, knows what's going to happen, then the logical thing is to be unpredictable.
You are assuming that Nero knows how events are predicted to unfold. The contrary, Nero's very presence has altered the flow of history, beginning with the attack on the USS Kelvin, culminating in the events of today, thereby creating an entire new chain of incidents that cannot be anticipated by either party.
Yes, Spock, exactly. A new chain of events that doesn't involve making more ships.
Every second we waste, Nero's getting closer to his next target.
That is correct, and why I'm instructing you to accept the fact that
I
I
will
alone
not allow
am
us to
in
go
command.
backwards. Jim, tackle the problem instead of hunting Nero down.
Security, escort him out.
Now, this point is important. Kirk is being insubordinate, so Spock has security escort him out and then maroon him on a planet,
Get him off this ship.
rather than putting him in the brig to be court-martialed. Though Kirk does mention this, so it's character development, not a plot hole.
Acting Captain Spock has marooned me on Delta Vega, what I believe to be a violation of Security Protocol 49.09.
When later, Spock allows him to keep talking despite the fact that he knows what Kirk is trying to do. He's trying to usurp his authority.
To stop Nero, you alone must take command of your ship.
How? Over your dead body?
Preferably not. However, there is Starfleet Regulation 619. 619 states that any command officer who is emotionally compromised by the mission at hand must resign said command.
So you're saying that I have to emotionally compromise you guys?
Jim?
What is it with you, Spock? Your planet was just destroyed, your mother murdered, and you're not even upset.
If you are presuming that these experiences in any way impede my ability to command this ship, you are mistaken.
That's highly illogical, Spock, considering you know what people have shot for in the past, and it's made you lose your temper.
He's a traitor, you know. Your father? For marrying her. That human whore.
Just send him away. Put him in the brig.
You never loved her!
Never mind.
To stop Nero, you alone must take command of your ship.
How? Over your dead body?
Preferably not. However, there is Starfleet Regulation 619. 619 states that any command officer who is emotionally compromised by the mission at hand must resign said command.
So you're saying that I have to emotionally compromise you guys?
Seeing as how Spock marooned Kirk in Antarctica, why didn't he appoint a new first officer? Everybody else did it pretty quickly. We see several examples of this.
You're captain now, Mr. Kirk.
Mr. Spock, I'm leaving you in command of the Enterprise. Kirk, I'm promoting you to first officer.
It seems logical that he would. Psst. It's because if Spock did that, Kirk wouldn't be able to take command.
You feel nothing.
This is the same problem the second two Jurassic Park movies had. If the big predator has a big kill down and can eat it, why is it attacking the relatively small human? Oh, Spock, you're in this cave too. How serendipitous.
Jim, we must go. There is a Starfleet outpost not far from here.
Now, people would try to call this a plot hole, since Spock hasn't gone to the Federation outpost yet. That's because the movie is a little hard to follow for some people. But remember, he just got here from the future. That's what allowed Nero to put his plan into motion, because now he had the red matter.
But what was years for Nero was only seconds for me. He captured my vessel and spared my life for one reason, so that I would know his pain. He beamed me here so that I could observe his vengeance.
Spock was put here just before Vulcan was attacked, plus the land was labeled as not safe. What is questionable, however, is how he got to the next scene without being retrieved by the Federation officials at the outpost. That aren't actually there, apparently.
Stuff there. It's not a climbing frame. The notion of transwarp beaming is like trying to hit a bullet with a smaller bullet whilst wearing a blindfold, riding a horse. What's that?
Your equation for achieving transwarp beaming.
Wait. If Spock typed in the equation, then that would mean that Scotty isn't the real inventor, and that Spock is. At least in this universe, which would mean that... Ah! No, we're not going into this. We're already taking too much time.
This is Captain James C. Kirk of the USS Enterprise. Your ship is compromised, too close to the singularity to survive without assistance, which we are willing to provide.
Wait, so does the red matter make black holes or wormholes? I'm confused. Does it destroy things or does it send them back in time? Because you need to decide, plot.
I would rather die in agony than accept assistance from you.
You got it. Arm phasers, fire everything we've got.
Yes, sir.
Wait, why does the Enterprise need to shoot Nero's ship? He's dying in the black hole. And why are you staying here for so long? You need to escape from the black hole. Just leave. Tell me if this cut doesn't make sense.
I would rather die in agony than accept assistance from you.
You got it.
This assembly calls Captain James Tiberius Kirk. Your inspirational valor and supreme dedication to your comrades is in keeping with the highest traditions of service, and reflect utmost credit to yourself, your crew, and the Federation. It is my honor to award you with this commendation.
And that's everything. Now, like I said, some of these are obvious, others you just have to pay a little bit closer attention. I even had to cut a few out to save time. None of these destroy the enjoyability of the film, they just diminish it and keep it from being truly great. That, coupled with ignoring some prime conflict that was just begging to be addressed. So that was an awful lot of stuff to dislike, but was there anything I liked? Well, yeah. I especially liked how when the part